Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, January 23rd, 2023, after 3 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Whatever man does to the web, he does to himself. Black Elk, Oglala, Sioux. Since 2012, spiritual circles and seekers of truth around the world have been talking about the possible apocalypse, wondering if the end of the world is coming. Countless movies, TV media have depicted a time when the entire existence of human beings would come to one final end. There has been extensive talk about the Mayan calendar depicting the great change of humanity starting in 2012 when everything changes dramatically. These are times of great mystery and profound change. It's good to know that every ending in this life is always the beginning of something even better than ever before. I have simply one important message to tell you. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. We are going to experience the greatest transformation in any of our lives. Massive changes can be hard to digest, yet we need them. We need it. Our society is craving for the greatest opportunity ever given to humankind to transform ourselves. Get ready to enter the most revolutionary and enlightening time this planet has ever seen. The Schumann resonance, which I'm sure most of you have heard of, which measures the vibration of the entire planet, has been increasing exponentially. Scientists have proven that the magnetic vibratory rate of our planet has been escalating. The magnetic solar storms from our sun have been increasing, causing us to physically enter a much higher frequency of energy and accelerating every aspect of our experience of this life in the most intimate ways. Every day, our DNA is having to operate at a faster frequency. It is a time for this humanity to raise its consciousness and dive deeper into our spiritual path. We are here to explore our divine nature, and all the horror and catastrophe in the world is forcing us to find solace at a deeper space within. We are here to learn how to become truly free from our own suffering. We are here to get grounded in our connection to the God source and discover the infinite spiritual power within. When we stop all our mind chatter and focus on love, the heart, the soul, and feel the truth within, we realize that we are this divine love itself. We can then open our hearts to a feeling that is deeply eternal loving and totally let go of all fear, judgment, and poverty. Discovering this love within is the beginning of humanity moving from 3D to 4D consciousness, from the third chakra to the fourth. This shift is the transformation. And when we talk about third density, 3D, then to 4 density, 4D, then to 5th density, 5D. It is a continuation of accelerating frequencies within all of us and this planet. It's just step, 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 step. We are not here to only imagine change like life is some fairyland fantasy. This is about real life. And what we want is deep, true, measurable, and emotional. The transformation that each of us desires is something we can feel, see, and know in our hearts. We want our lives bubbling up with so much joy that we cannot escape from the appreciation vibration, and thoughts of gratitude fill our consciousness each and every day. If there is a change, there is a change on the Earth's magnetism. There is a change on the consciousness, and also an adaptation of the physical level for this new vibration. The changes are not only on our planets, but also affect the whole universe. And today's science can verify that. Avatar Sai Baba on 2012. We are not separate beings. We are not separate beings interacting with this planet from disconnection on any level. All 8 billion people who live here are abiding in one sea of consciousness together, impacting each other, our planet, every day in the most intimate ways. We can see it by looking at the most successful corporations are now the green ones, who have the most environmentally conscious ethics and environmentalists working for them. The planet has swung from trashing this world for personal gain to seeing that real success comes through working together as one and making it green again. Every global disaster that manifests in our planet's way of communicating to the people, she's been saying, stop what you're doing to me and pay attention. The earth has been deeply disturbed by greedy, selfish, and materialistic ways for far, far, far too long. She wants us to wake up and live as spiritual beings in human bodies. This earth is wanting a dramatic change and is rebelling at how we've been raping her forests, siphoning out her tectonic lubricants, crude oil, trashing her oceans, burying garbage in her fields, and polluting her atmosphere. She cannot take this abuse anymore. Period. And a new clean green technology must be implemented ASAP. The crazy thing is that we already have the technology to save this planet. It's good to educate yourself. And everyone, you know about this. We already have many new high-tech inventions and alternative energy devices. They can be put into production now, right in this moment. If and when if you don't believe me, take an evening to Google alternative energy devices and see what comes up. There is more out there than you know about. Check out some of the videos on how we already have access to using truly green, clean energy. We have the technology now. So let's spread it and implement it. Europe is always light years ahead of the USA as far as implementing the newest alternative energy sources to run their cars, homes, and factories. that are clean and green. With the power of the internet, we can communicate and brainstorm together as one world to implement this amazing new green technology that can even shift our generation from eating, drinking, and breathing pollution. And yes, people wonder and ask, has our planet already gone far beyond her threshold point? Yes, that's true. She has. And will only continue to pollute our bodies and minds until we have stopped all violent acts upon it. This is the secret to creating a new economy that thrives instead of barely survives. By utilizing sustainable, environmentally friendly, high-tech resources, we can discover how the sun, wind, water, and the geothermal energy can provide all of our electricity needs for everyone for thousands of years, absolutely free. We need to step into being the conscious, evolved beings we truly are. We need to choose this. Choose to step into being the conscious, evolved beings we truly are. And when those in power of these choices become enlightened enough to reciprocate this gratitude and respect back to the earth, they will be rewarded profoundly. The more we all jump on the environmentally green train, we will all experience a new world that responds back to us with even more abundance of resources and enjoyment of this life. As Sir Isaac Newton said, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. This has been proven thousands of times. The main purpose our souls requested, let's say we chose to be here for this Armageddon experience, was to cause a rapid and profound evolution in our consciousness. There are truly no coincidences or accidents in this world. There never have been and never will be. There is no action or reaction without a deeper unconscious motive behind it. Individually and as a whole, we are being redirected deeper inside ourselves to shed light on those unconscious decisions we've been making for years that result in only more struggle and suffering. We are all here to discover something cosmic and indescribable and completely enlightening within ourselves. You may want to know that from now until the end of our lives, that we are each like hard kernels of popcorn sitting in a hot oil cooker. As things heat up, those who let go of their tight control about things will suddenly pop into a light, expansive state. If and when you can let go of all your fears that arise and find your spiritual nature, you will, through a massive state of expansion, wake up from the unconscious dream. This is the greatest spiritual opportunity we will ever come across. So don't abandon ship now. We are going to be given the chance to become a fully self-realized, enlightened being. Perhaps the most important thing of all is to be grateful for this time, as it truly is a great cleansing that we all need. We're going to be forced to burn through centuries of old, dilapidated belief systems that no longer work, and respect ourselves, each other, and this planet in the most sacred way. Almost everyone has been deeply asleep, operating out of these old ways. In order to become totally conscious, empowered beings, we needed something big to make a truly deep transformation throughout this world and within ourselves. So this end of times is truly a positive thing. It is an end to our old ways of believing we are separate, unconscious, greedy, and selfish beings who are habitually concerned with acquiring more money, status, and power. So this end of times is truly a positive thing. It is an end to our old ways of believing we are separate, unconscious, greedy, and selfish beings who are habitually concerned with acquiring more money, status, and power. Just the mere idea that an end is coming causes most people to become more sensitive, loving, conscious, and awake. So yes, thank God that we are forced to end this toxic and insane pollution. At the end of 2012, we all witnessed, some understood, some didn't, but we all witnessed a major global conscious shift. Human beings began working more for each other in the unity of peace and harmony. Believe it or not, this was the beginning, and we will see all wars from this point are coming to an end. The momentum towards higher consciousness, the momentum towards higher consciousness and inner peace is going to be such a magnetic force that everyone on this earth is not going to want to miss it. Even the governments and biggest corporations realize this, as they are finding they actually generate more income and happier employees when they go 100% genuine green. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. Richard Bach. Perhaps people say, what can I do to help? Perhaps the greatest thing you can do, inform as many people as you can through your social media platforms about this shift. Let people know what is available and possible. In this process, people will need to learn how to find a deeply rooted source of peaceful stillness with all the mass change that is going to happen. We will need specific guidance on how to remain in a lighter state of consciousness. Be at peace with all the changes. Find our sweet spiritual nature. Now, there's ways physically that we can start to prepare our bodies for the transition? Now, I've been on a lot of different green juices, red juices, combinations for 40 years. And I found that one of the quickest ways to transform your consciousness is to drink one of these juice combinations. And do it for, and this is a challenge for many. You do it for about 21 days or so. You stop eating all solid food, you just drink the juice. You're going to lose weight, there's no doubt about it. And you're going to lose a lot of pain in the body that will just disappear. Now, the interesting thing is that a lot of people don't think about this, but you got to prepare the body for this transition. Yeah, we're going in within and discovering the gods that we are, but we got to make sure these vessels, it's like when you go on a trip, right? You're going to go on a trip, you can remember the times when the kids, the mom and dad, were going to go on a summer vacation. We used to have that in this country quite a bit. We would have what they call station wagon. See? And what a lot of people don't know is that all SUVs are classified as station wagons. They just don't tell. You can see it on the certificate of title. It's deemed as station wagon. So the station wagons, we get the kids and everything, load them up. Remember we had those big barges back then. And then we would go off on the trip. Weren't worried about gas or any of that stuff. And we would go to the hotel and the swimming pool and all that stuff. And we'd have fun. And that's what this is about. You drink the juice for 2-3 weeks. That's all you're going to consume. And you got to know if it's good, if your body's ready for it or not. What's amazing is that every thought moving through our minds become crystal clear. And our hearts open to a feeling that can only describe as perfect peace and bliss. And how you'll relate to other issues become dramatically positive. And what we're doing is igniting a deep, profound connection with our relationships with work, love, life, and spiritual path of gain. You'd never believe that you had the willpower to do it for this long. Yet after 4 days on it, every time I've done it, I felt so much energy, consciousness, and enthusiasm for life that I couldn't stop doing it. It works as rocket fuel in your system. Giving you more energy, creativity, connection to higher consciousness. And this is what the enlightened New World needs. By remaining on a clean, green diet, you will find a great power and peace inside your soul. Something else that works to increase your consciousness is practice giving and receiving warm-hearted, honest compliments in all your relationships. Practice giving and receiving warm-hearted, honest compliments in all your relationships. Give love. Not to get love back. Don't give love, not to give love back, but because you are so full of creative love that it just pours out of you. If and when you need to heal some broken parts before you feel capable of loving someone else, you make peace with those. The consciousness in you and the consciousness in me, apparently two, really one, seek unity, and that is love. Nisargadatta. If you want to get out there and initiate a positive change in the physical environment around you, you don't have to go very far. As a consumer, and what you purchase at the stores and malls is the loudest statement you are making of them all. Whatever you spend your money on is what you are voting for more of in life. Whatever you spend your money on is what you are voting for more of in this life. If and when you keep buying petrol and gasoline cars, they will keep drilling for fuel to fill them up. What you are choosing for your planet is where you spend your money every day. Right? Now, we all know that electric cars are not the way to go. There are many, many cons about electric cars. That's why they never gained ground ever. If you can bike, walk, or ride with someone who has an electric car right today, you're making a difference. When you decide that your family will only consume alternative green forms of reusable New World energy, you're truly creating a clean, green planet. When the mass majority of people are conscious enough to change how we are impacting the planet, we will all get to enjoy the benefits of living in a safe, environmentally peaceful world. Each of us is a strand in the weave of life. And without you, this planet would not be complete. When every human being understands that they cannot hurt another person without harming themselves, when every one of us understands that we cannot hurt another person without harming ourselves, then we will also see how we cannot pollute the environment without also polluting ourselves. When all of our friends and family see that we are actually saving money, helping the environment, and are a happier person because of it, they will most definitely jump on the bandwagon as well. What we see on the news these days, whatever form, internet, live streaming, podcast, all of it. What we see on the news these days may not look like humans are evolving in consciousness. Yet, I bet you didn't know that this so-called media only covers about 3% of what is actually happening all around the planet. Okay? The media that everybody, whatever form it is, it only covers about 3% of what is actually happening all around this planet. The real truth is that there is a massive, naturally occurring grassroots movement where there are more alternative green conscious companies sprouting up every day, more than any other type in history. But you see, they, meaning the lower dark matter frequencies, which is demons and affected souls,
They want to make all of you believe that their 3% is 100%.
If the only prayer you said in your whole life was thank you, that would suffice. Meister Eckhart. We, all of us, are all-powerful, conscious, manifesting beings who fell asleep on the path to enlightenment. We are all powerful, supreme, conscious, manifesting beings who fell asleep on the path to enlightenment. We have forgotten the fact that we are spiritual beings connected to an unlimited source of power. We must choose to remember that we are spiritual beings who came here to transcend all suffering by mastering our minds in these physical human bodies. Once everyone becomes conscious enough and can stop choosing harmful, destructive thoughts on a grand scale, we will see this planet move into a state of peace and harmony with us. And this planet that we're on, we could say it's our planet, but there's other species that say it's their planet. It's all ego-driven. This planet that we're currently existing in a symbiont form relationship is trying to wake you up. And when you are awake, it will stop shaking you. When you are awake, it will stop shaping you. Shaking. Whether you know this or not, your soul did ask to be awakened in this lifetime, to experience your real, unbounded, infinite, godlike energy inside. The depth of our consciousness is so deep in each of us that we needed something this piercing and horrific on a global scale to force enlightenment onto the whole. The depth of our consciousness is so deep in each of us that we needed something this piercing and horrific on a global scale to force enlightenment onto this world, onto the whole, and thus drag each individual towards awakening. How could we have set it up any better way? As we watch the world shift into 100% green economy, because that's where it's going, we will find it easier to feel peace within our being and in harmony with the earth. The more gentle and loving we are with ourselves, the more this gentle healing vibration must manifest physically into our world. In order for us to create a more conscious, awake, and empowered world, we each must choose to become more sensitive. This means stop using toxic substances that numb you, make you more anxious, or cause you to check out. By wanting a heightened sensitivity, it allows you to heal your old wounds and feel amazingly powerful. You can then tap into the subtle realm of your spiritual nature, where you realize nobody is separate from the whole. Man did not create the web of life. He is but a strand in it. Indian Chief Seattle. Man did not create the web of life. He is but a strand in it. When we sit and meditate on the feeling that everybody on this planet is becoming a more conscious, sensitive, and enlightened being, we are helping manifest this faster for the whole. It takes a very evolved consciousness to understand the inherent sacredness of life on this planet. When this happens on a grand scale, everyone will have such a deep love and connection inside that they could not imagine even harming each other or the earth. So you can begin to understand and discover that remember, only 3% of what's going on around this planet is being presented. The rest, hidden. Hidden. Why would the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies want you to have access to the other 97% of what's going on around this planet? On their end, it's a make-believe. And they're just hoping that you'll fall for it. And we aren't falling for it anymore. Have you noticed? Just isn't there. It might stick a little bit and then fall away like bad tape, bad adhesive, but it doesn't stay anymore. Have you noticed? It doesn't stay. It can't. The enlightenment process is in full swing with this civilization. More and more people, as you increase your vibrational frequency. Through what? How? How do you do that? Being grateful for everything. Period. Being kind, gentle, humble, generous with oneself. And I think everybody in this meditation, and everybody that hears it over and over again across the planet, is what? We love ourselves. We discover who and what we are within. And we can love everything outside of us. Love it all. This increasing vibrational frequency, who's doing it? Is there something out there? No. It's you. It's every single one of us. And we all agreed to be here at this time. All of us did. This isn't happenstance or some kind of a fantasy. We've created this for the transcendence of the planet and the civilization. It's being transcended. So people begin to wake up. More and more begin to wake up. And they begin to realize, slowly but surely, that the planet is shaking. And it's shaking everything on it, in it, above it, below it. It's kind of like, when you go to bed, right? And a pet or something or a child starts to, you're out like, you're sleeping and it starts pushing you. Pushing your shoulder, pushing your body, shaking you to wake you up. Now, some of us will say, not now, not now, not now. Others will wake up. And the not nowers will eventually wake up because of how we're affecting the planet. We create. We're creators. We are not destroyers. You see? The anti-civilization is being eliminated
through higher vibrational frequency of the civilization of this planet. We are the civilization of the universe, very much the opposite of the anti-civilization. Anti-civilization is all about destroying beauty, right? Creating fear, doubt, distrust, greed, manipulation, the addiction to power. These are leaving these low frequency habits through the ego mind. The habit of wanting more and 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 more. The habit of hoarding, keeping to oneself, not giving freely, will not exist in a higher vibrational frequency field realm. It won't exist. It can't. So we're witnessing 3% of what's going on around this planet. Imagine that. 3% is all. There's a lot of good happening on the planet, but you don't see it. How are you going to see it? You know, these lower dark matter frequencies don't want anybody to see the good stuff. They only want you to see the doom and gloom and bad stuff. And actually, that's not the bad stuff. That's letting us know that it's working, that our vibrational frequencies are expanding upward. By what means? By choice. All of us making the choice. And it isn't, okay, it's hallelujah, gladly, permanently embrace the higher frequencies, which is the God within us. And then we start looking at this planet in a whole different way. Let's beautify it. Let's help it. Let's get the trees planted. Let's eliminate the blight on the trees. Right? Let's get the land masses healthy. The seas healthy. And all of that exists right now to do that. Right now. And as the higher frequencies continue to ascend, right? Then monies for all this will open up. For all these people that have committed and devoted their time on the planet to acquire these technologies, to develop, create, build, so that they're all across the board, across the entire planet, fully, financially, saturated with all that they require and then some. And see, we won't, as a people, we're shifting out of the glut, out of the want ego mind, out of the have more out of the ego mind. Okay, we're shifting out of that, and we're realizing that once we get our home, the God that we are, these bodies, in balance, then there's no way any of us will ever harm ourselves or another or anything ever again. It will be unacceptable on the planet. It just won't exist. You see, when separation becomes so advanced, this is what happens. When we feel we're separate, we feel depressed and useless and, not going anywhere, and not enough money, and all this low frequency. We're moving out of it. That's why the Schumann resonance is constantly fluctuating, and it keeps accelerating. The planet is shaking. It always shakes, but it's shaking more. So you start to realize something. You start to realize in a loving, compassionate way with yourself that you are the God.
How can all this be happening? How can I be that powerful, right? How can I be that powerful to affect such a change on this planet? Because you are. That's simple. You have tapped into the God that you are within the body without fear and embrace. And you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And a lot of the things that we once put our attention and focus on no longer has our attention. Doesn't have it. You notice? Yeah, you might go, It doesn't stick anymore. You also notice that those of us who are awake aren't really in fear or fear-based existence anymore. We aren't fearing things. We know the heart of the matter. We know what we're doing. We're transcending the planet. The planet is transcending. The planet detects this while we're in these physical bodies. We're changing it. You know why? Because this is the time frame and the timing for this to take place with this planet and this civilization. So, unbeknownst to popular demand of the lower dark matter survival matter frequencies, this civilization is going higher in frequency. It's not going away. It's not going to be destroyed. I hate to burst their bubble. We're not going to be destroyed. So we continue to increase our vibrational frequency through deep gratitude for oneself and all things around us. We continue to surrender, let go of things that we have been dragging through this life and other lifetimes. Just let them go. If you've got to do it 1,000 times a day, fine. Do it. Let them go. Let all of it, all the bound upness of, relationships and scars and disappointments and everything that you're dragging with you, let them go. They serve you no purpose. They sure as heck don't serve you the greater good. You just let them go. You kind of cleanse and purify yourself. You accept you, good, bad, and ugly. You accept all facets of you. And then you realize that you can't hurt yourself and you cannot hurt others. And you cannot hurt this planet because it's all one. Whatever you do that's destructive and harmful, you're doing to yourself. It is proven. It is not some, clouds out there. It's proven fact. Whatever you do to yourself or others is going to be back to you tenfold. Doesn't mean you're going to know when, but it will come back to you. It will definitely come back to you. And I think a lot of people blow this off and think that that's just poppycock. But it isn't. It's the real deal. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out.
Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. Freely express yourself. Whatever expression any of us have is okay. This universe is not judging us. The only judge that exists is found in between our ears. Whenever we release this inner concern, we can feel this universe celebrating our lives again. There never was a real judge. It's all an illusion of the mind. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. Spread the positive vibes. That's why this planet is transitioning. That's why others are beginning to understand this. It isn't a boogeyman scenario. It is a new earth, a new existence. Be good, loving, kind, generous, and humble to oneself at all times. Stay in deep gratitude. You're never going to run out of things being grateful for. Period. We will return here Tuesday, January 24th, 2023, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.